There's Bitcoin giving up all its gains from yesterday. You thought we were out of the woods. That would not be crypto. That would just not be crypto. We're going to look at Bitcoin price action. I want to look at altcoins. Before I even jump into the video, I just want to lay the groundwork. This is a clip from yesterday. This will exemplify how normal this move is. And I hate to say it, but it's normal. And it actually might get a little worse. Check this out. On the short term, we do have an area to watch for. And we can, for me personally, I just want to be patient for the confirmation of it. And it really is just the 20 and the 50. So there's the 50 in blue, 20 is right here, right at the bottom of the bull market doors, right? And it's this range. So if we change this now to a 4-hour chart, what does ADA do? And so, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I do like to anticipate moves like this. That's it. That's all I'm saying. We never know what moves are going to happen. We really never do. But that move is happening. It's a throwback after the crazy move to the upside that we had. Let me rewind, and then we're really going to dig into the Bitcoin price action. I want to look at Ethereum charts, XRP charts, and ADA charts. I think from an altcoin perspective, it gives a really good just kind of illustration of the move and what to anticipate on even the shorter term. But here's what's basically going on. Bitcoin nosedives to 86,500 as Trump's fun tariff threat sparks crypto chaos. Market shed 200 billion in hours, 172 million in long positions liquidated. Before I even get into the charts, I want to mention something because this is important to my approach on crypto. And I think if you watch my analysis, it's at least helpful to know where I'm coming from. But here's what Trump is saying. When Apple, because I know there's a lot of people that think like Trump is destroying crypto, destroying the markets. Everybody, if you can zoom out and understand what this is going to do for America, short-term pain for long-term gain right now. And this plays directly into what he is doing with crypto. And it's actually very clear if you just pay attention. When Apple now is going to start building all their plants here, it's not because he likes me. They probably don't like me at all. You know what? It's the incentive we created or the negative incentive. It's going to be very costly for people to take advantage of this country. This is what's happening. All of this taken advantage of, over the years that had been taking place by other countries with America is not going to happen anymore. America is going to drive jobs and economic growth in a way that we've not seen in a while. And it will cause a little bit of short-term pain, but confluent with Trump doing this, right, and implementing all these things that will do this, what he's doing with crypto is absolutely opening the floodgates for the first time, we're going to see a flood of innovation happening within the US and probably a lot of people coming to the US to build because of the deregulation that is really about to take place. We are at the very beginning of that. So you pair these two things up in the not even the long term, even in the midterm, things are going to turn around, everybody. And America is going to be the best positioned country when it comes to crypto. And I think there's a lot of bullishness to come in that regard. So with that being said, we have to kind of endure the short-term pain, and there's a lot of people that they want to seemingly disagree with Trump and what he's doing. But I'm just saying, I like what he's doing. They can't come in and steal our money, steal our jobs, and take our factories and take our businesses. I'm happy about that. This is what I voted for. So I'll be very clear about that. But short-term pain. And even if this wasn't happening, what's actually most intriguing is if there were no headlines, this price volatility and what Bitcoin's doing and crypto's doing right now, it's very normal, right? So the first thing to mention on the Bitcoin chart is this, and then we're going to look at altcoins. If you look at capitulation, one thing we've been talking about since that capitulation really is we never really just exit capitulation. It's always like this bottoming out type of formation that needs to happen. And it was very illustrated back here in the, this 8-month sideways consolidation that Bitcoin was in. We capitulated. I mean, we fell here. It was like, oh, we're out of it. We're out of the woods. Nope, we're not. We're capitulating again. Oh, we're out of the woods. No, we're not. It's just the bottoming out process on crypto in general. If you look at all of these instances, is so normal. So, we're kind of in that right now, no matter what's happening, no matter what the headlines are doing. Everybody wants to blame Trump and point fingers on the headline of today. But you know what? who knows what, if there were no headlines, what price action would be doing. And it could be very well doing the same exact thing it's doing. This is crypto. This is nothing new. That's why it's great to kind of understand what's going on in the headlines, and events that trigger certain moves definitely happen. But at the end of the day, news events or not, crypto's volatile. And that's why I like to just study the charts and anticipate all of these moves. And this is why we were anticipating the ADA move, for instance, which we're about to take a look at. But that's Bitcoin, right? A daily candle. What I'm watching for really in terms of Bitcoin is what we've been watching anyway. We want to see the confirmation break, a bullish break above those two moving averages. It didn't happen. We failed there. No surprise, right? It tested and failed. There's our first test. Not a good thing. We want to see daily candles above the 50 and the 20. And then besides that, it's support at the 200. So the 200 day moving average is still down here around 83,000, just below 83, actually just above 82,000. And then that neckline area down here is like around 77. So really, continued downward pressure, more capitulation, more fear. That range down there is something that I will just keep an eye on in case we get there. But otherwise, if Bitcoin can see sideways action somehow or whatever, and we finally get another move to the upside, what's happening once again at the 20 and the 50-day moving averages? That is what I'm watching. Let's talk about altcoins. And, real quick, before I do, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Crypto.com. Go download their app in the App Store. The interface, the app itself, incredibly easy to use. 0 fee deposits in USD and start trading instantly. And here's what's cool. You can also access, manage, and spend funds anytime with the Visa card, this metal card. I have one. I'm also bringing this up right now because yesterday with the crazy gains, ADA saw ridiculous gains, well over 50%, back above $1. In those times, it's really not a bad idea. If you're like, I'm not taking profits yet, it's not a bad idea to get out your card and just, spend a little crypto. There are tax implications for doing that if you're seeing gains when you're spending the crypto, but it's a good way to reward yourself with like, hey, crypto's going up. I'm not selling and taking profits yet, but you know what? At least you're getting something out of it. I think that's kind of the way my mind works a little bit. But go download the Crypto.com app. There's so much going on over there. Ways to earn rewards. You can get up to 5% back on spending when you're using that Visa card, and just a lot of really cool things. So go download the app, get signed up with them. Appreciate them sponsoring today's videos. Altcoins. Here it is. If you look at what is happening right now, and this is actually a very important altcoin chart because it's excluding the top 10. But if you look at the chart, there's some bullish divergence playing out, and there's a bottoming out that is happening right now. You can just see it right here. It was nice, this pump that we had yesterday, and obviously Solana, XRP, Cardano not even in there, but this chart trying to just reverse. But either way, if you look at this, look at what is happening on the RSI, and we have to give this time. We have this swing low, a lower low, and then we have this swing low on the daily RSI and a higher low, and now we're just kind of hobbling above. So we need to keep this trend line. We'll continue watching, but that doesn't mean this might fall even more, capitulate again, and it's looking even worse for altcoins. I think this is a very helpful chart to pay attention to in the coming days, if that is the case. But we can kind of digress from that to the upside. If we get any type of bounce, it will be the continued thing to watch for on all of these charts, really. The 20-day in green, the 50-day in blue. And even on this chart, you can see this 200 days up here. So altcoins need to make a little bit of a move to get above all those areas, but it could just bounce around. We could be in a bottoming out area that could just take some time, and there can be a lot of volatility along with it. Let's look at Cardano, and then we're going to look at XRP and then Ethereum. Cardano right now is making that move that I discussed in this clip from yesterday, and I just showed you a clip right at the beginning of the video. I'm not going to show it again, but the move is happening now, and this is on the daily. It could be better illustrated on a 4-hour or 6-hour. Here's a 6-hour retracing to those moving averages. That's what that range is on this 6-hour chart. Those are the two moving averages. This channel here that you see from the daily chart, and ADA revisiting that area. So on the very short term, I will be watching what happens here. We could fall into the 70s. The other thing I wanted to mention in terms of potential support to watch out for ADA, and I don't know if it will hold or not, but this is what I'm evaluating. So far, the move that is happening is normal. And even so, I'll go even further and say maybe we actually fall a little bit lower, and we're kind of coming to the bottom range of that moving average area on the daily. If we're on the 6 hour, you can see this 20 moving average on the 6 hour wants to cross above the 50. Maybe ADA is kind of retesting that area, right? So we're in like the mid 70s, maybe wicking maybe even below that area. But after this happens, do we get a bounce? And if we get a bounce, what structure is going to form out of all this is something I'll probably be watching for on a lot of these charts, but maybe it's a symmetrical triangle. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's just some type of falling channel. I don't know, but what's the structure that ADA gives us next? I think will be a very important question. If we go back to the daily chart, because if you look at the daily, this could just be the reversal happening, right? And it could just take time through structure to the upside. That's what we're looking for. On the weekly, I want to mention something. I have this line here, weekly moving average, because if we go to the weekly, that is a very important area for ADA. We talked about how yesterday ADA broke above that 200-week moving average around 75 cents. Well, there it is right now on this chart. So if we really want to see an area that we want to see ADA stay above this week, it will be 75 cents. The 200-week moving average, it's the lower end of the bull market doors, and that's an area I'll be watching. So if it holds, awesome, and we can continue forward. If it doesn't hold, we have some other things we need to discuss, and that's just for a completely different video. But I think with all of the short-term volatility we have in 4 days, we also have that crypto summit coming up. So there could be speculation going into that. Maybe we get a bounce, get some separation is what we want to see from that 200-week moving average for ADA at 75 cents. XRP is not looking as strong as ADA in terms of the moving average support. You can see XRP actually right now below the 20 and the 50, while as we just made a note, I want to show you once again because it's important even with Ethereum, ADA is still actually above both moving averages. Right now testing just above the 50. Not sure if it's going to hold for the day, still 2.5 hours left. But XRP below those moving averages. But the next area for XRP, if there's going to be a little bit more downside for cryptos right now, the next area would be the weekly moving average that I have here highlighted on the daily chart. If we go look at it on the weekly, this is what it is. It's the 20-week moving average. So a very nice chart so far for XRP in that we had incredible overextension from all moving averages, and now we're pulling into the moving averages. Just look at this, the 20, the 50, crossing above that red line, the 20 or the 200. It's just such a nice like cycle reversal. And so all of this volatility that's pulling into the 20-week moving average, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, even if we're going to have an amazing bull market, and if what I think is going to happen, that is to say, even in the midterm or this tariff stuff and all these things that people are just like so bearish about, it's terrible. When they start having positive effects and we get another continuation of the bull market, XRP could fall below the 20 and in between the 50 and the 20, right? So maybe this consolidation gets even worse and the negativity and the fear gets even crazier. I will still be here bullish and I will be tracking these charts. But for XRP on the short term, we can look at around just like maybe $2.10 at the 20-week moving average. And then if we're looking at that 50-week, that's all the way down there at $1, like, what is that? $1.17. So that's yet to be discussed, right? In terms of XRP, but something that we can look out for. I mean, even between that area down at the 50, we have these previous kind of swing highs back here around $1.75 or so. So that would be the next capitulation area that I'd be watching for XRP. But on the very immediate short term, $2.10 for support from where we are right now, 241. If markets are going to continue to the downside, Ethereum really wanted to cover Ethereum because there's like no way to even really spin the chart. Ethereum is below all moving averages on the weekly and the daily. And so the only thing that I wanted to mention with Ethereum is maybe a warning to bears. And you might be like, what? Why are you warning the bears? Ethereum's getting destroyed. Well, when Ethereum enters these environments where it is getting destroyed, and by the way, I'm not like a long-term Ethereum bull or anything. I'm bullish on crypto, but I will say this. Ethereum hasn't lost all narratives. And the Trump family, They're bullish on Ethereum. Many other people are bullish, and institutions are bullish on Ethereum. When we get into this environment, this is a weekly. We're below the 200-week moving average. Look at this. Anytime that Ethereum has kind of capitulated below all these moving averages over the years, the bottom is pretty much in. Maybe it takes weeks to bottom, but we're getting very close probably for an Ethereum bottom. I do not think Ethereum will hit the target out of this symmetrical triangle to like $500, $600 down here. I think this will end up being a busted pattern, as I've mentioned before, and Ethereum will kind of draw back in. This is when we're going to see an altcoin explosion begin, and Ethereum will surprise a lot of people. That's what I think. That's what I'm watching. But just notice how it's trading below these moving averages and looking terrible. And this is somewhere that Ethereum has been on these charts many times before. So that's something I'm watching for Ethereum. And that's really it for the altcoins. It's just a matter of just letting things play out. Once again, if you look at the others market cap, letting this RSI cool down again to put in this continued higher low on the RSI, letting this reversal play out. Usually doesn't happen overnight, everybody. And especially if we're going to get these tariff headlines that just kind of freak everybody out, it is what it is. I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm along for the ride. I'm long term. We can evaluate all of these price points to the upside, to the downside, watch support, wait for bullish confirmations. That's what I'm doing. I appreciate all you cruising through. Please hit the subscribe and like on the way in. I will see you in the next video. God bless.